Hi, Andrew Parkinson here with Cruising World, and I am at a very exciting boat at the Miami Boat Show this year. This is the Windelo 50 Yachting. And I'm standing here with Stefan Grove. Stefan is the Executive Director of Windelo. Good to see you.
Indeed, good to see you. Welcome on board.
Forgive the sunglasses, it's so bright here in Miami, but nothing's shining brighter than this boat right here on the dock right now. I first saw this boat in Cannes last September, and I gotta say, you know, at an international boat show with 20-something world premieres, this boat really stood out to me. What separates some of these multi-hulls from the rest of the pack is what we're going to be seeing here with this Windelo 50. Stefan, this boat is all about sustainable blue water cruising. Can you tell our audience what does that mean to Windelo?
Yeah, so absolutely key to us. You know, Windelo wouldn't be around if we couldn't push and innovate in the market a little bit. So she's a performance blue water cruiser. There's a lot of environmentally positive features in the build with the new composite and in the use of the boat with electric hybrid engines, and we'll talk through that as we go on board.
It's really a boat where form follows function, and we'll be using words like autonomy, sustainability, eco-conscious cruising, modular arrangement as we walk through the boat. What can you tell us a little bit about the design profile of this boat?
Yeah, so I mean, Christophe Barrault is very well known for, you know, designing performance multi-hulls. So she has really thin bows. She doesn't have a top hull speed, right? She has dagger boards, so we're absolutely in the performance segment. We'll match wind speeds in light winds, for example. We'll surf more than 20 knots, so we're up there with all the performance cats. And then in terms of the design, the innovation here is that we've reinvented life on board. So we have a huge loft, which is experienced as indoors and outdoors, as opposed to secluding spaces and duplicating places.
Now, I understand this Windelo 50 Yachting just came across on its own hull. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So she came across on the Ark, and you know, we've been delivering boats for 2.5, 3 years now. And actually we've had 7 transatlantics, right? So our clients are true sailors, round the world sailors. They will take the boats across the Atlantic and back. So we've been gathering a lot of experience, including on the electric hybrid, which has been absolute marvel.
So we've made it up to the roof. Stefan, wow, this is a lot of solar panels.
It is indeed. This is coming up to almost 6,000 watts of solar panels across the roof and the bows of the boat, really built into our design from the outset.
6,000 watts of solar plus the hydro generation. This boat is pretty autonomous. Tell us a little bit about the systems and how they all work together.
So the systems, you know, we have an in-house software that will coordinate everything with, you know, there's manual backup and there's standard products from the market as well. But we integrate all the systems, and you're absolutely right, Andy. So the boat is autonomous in most of her use cases. Of course, you know, with this amount of solar power, sustaining a family's life on board at anchor is, you know, no debate. You're even charging a lot whilst you're doing that for your batteries. And then add the hydro generation when you're sailing. You know, the boat is absolutely sustainable from green energies when sailing.
And with that sort of energy generation, we're talking about what, about 4 hours of motoring at 6 knots, is that correct?
4 hours at 6 knots, cruising full electric, full silence.
And we're talking zero emissions, right?
And this is zero emissions, right? And that's what the boat does. She's self-sustained from renewable energies.
Now, Stefan, we haven't touched on probably the most important aspect of sailing, which is sailing.
Actual sailing.
So here we are on the foredeck, and I see some dagger boards behind us. Obviously, that speaks to a little bit of performance here. Tell us about the sailing characteristics of the Windelo 50.
Yeah, so you mentioned dagger boards, right? In this segment where we have dagger boards, we're looking for upwind performance, which is comparable to, you know, good monohull upwind performance, and we definitely have that here. And we have a versatile setup on the Windelo, so we have big sail areas, but with a self-tacking Solent, for example, as our first setup. So we want to keep tying with the cockpit, the simplicity of use. The boat is easy to sail single-handed. But then if we get code zeros and Jenicas out, you know, we have huge sail areas and still very good angles, particularly on the code zero.
And in terms of naval architecture, let's talk about the shape of the hulls and their performance under the water.
Yeah, so I mean, the Christophe Barrault design, right? So thin hulls, inverted and angled in bows. We have a lot of freeboard. We're 2 meters above the water, so safe blue water cruising. The mast is set very far back as well, so emphasizing that center of gravity and providing a huge sail area for this size boat.
So Stefan, here we are in the salon/terrace. We're looking at a very large aft area. Tell us a little bit about the design, maybe the modular living arrangement.
So the design concept here with us is having everything as seamless as possible. So you'll notice we're on a single floor plan, right? From the helm station all the way to the aft terrace, which we enjoy at anchor. And then we have a large loft, which we can enjoy as being indoors or outdoors. So we don't, sacrifice the outdoors when we're sailing or sacrifice the comfort of indoors when we're at anchor. You can basically experience all of that quite seamlessly, open or closed.
And we're standing here in just a massive open salon area. Tell us a little bit about the arrangement here.
We call it the loft, right? So it's a very social area. We actually have a choice of galleys. This is the L-shaped galley, which is very open, creates a lot of social space around the table, flip over bench to the outside. We have a tremendous day bed / watch bed up here. So everyone sort of fights for their favorite spot, and everyone has their same favorite spots across the boat. Really nice place to be.
And living accommodations, this is a 3-stateroom?
This is a 3-stateroom, so owner suite on the port side with a huge owner head and shower room in the front, 2 state cabins on the starboard side. And we also do custom, so we do, home offices, fold-out beds, we do bunk beds, we do, actually we're working on a workshop right now, so a lot of options.
And let's face it, when you're crossing oceans, you've got to have that space, and this really delivers.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is in the 50-foot version. Of course, the 54 is even more ample than this.
One of the most remarkable places on this boat, in my opinion, after seeing a lot of other multi-hulls here on the dock, is the location of the cockpit. So we got a forward cockpit area. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about this space?
And we're also standing right on the center of gravity of the boat, so it's actually a really nice place to stay for an extended period of time. So all the sailing is done from here, right? So short-handed, single-handed, all the lines come back to the cockpit. So, if you need to quickly ease the sheet of that very powerful sail, you can do that right from the helm, which makes the boat so much easier to operate, single-handed even on the watch. Our clients particularly love the cockpit also for the fact that, as a spouse or as a parent, you can have people and kids joining you in here. There's no need for life jackets. We virtually never wear any foul weather gear. This is in its open configuration right now, and you can actually, it's really important, but you can actually feel the breeze come through, right? You feel the apparent wind. But on a night passage or in foul weather, you can close it all up, have the heating on in the, in the saloon, and continue sailing here from, very dry conditions as well.
Now, we've got some stairs here that lead forward. We've also got really good visibility. Tell us a little bit about that arrangement.
Yeah, so obviously visibility to the front of the boat, to the foresails, to the tailtails is fantastic from here. We have these very long hatches, which will actually show you all the way back to the topping lift, so you can see all of the mainsail as well from the helm station. And these steps providing access to the foredeck when you do need to go up there. Nobody's going around the side of the boat, which is super important. Again, we're close to the center of gravity, we're right in the middle of the boat, so very safe for everybody to operate.
So in terms of construction, I understand this boat has a reduced carbon footprint of about 47%, correct?
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about the materials used and construction process, how you were able to achieve that.
We researched several different forms of composite and chose composite from basalt fiber, which requires 10 times less water and 10 times less energy than making glass fiber. And so that's what we use. There's a supply chain of it. It's used in other industries as well, but I believe we're the first and only ones to make a whole commercial sailing boat out of it. And so that's associated with the core of the composite is more than 50% of that throughout the boat is PET, so recycled plastic bottle foam. And so all in all, we've reduced by half the carbon footprint. All of this, vacuum infused, very solid build, basalt. As a result, the composite is actually stiffer than a piece of composite from glass fiber at equivalent weight. And we've reduced the carbon footprint. We're actually working, and we will not stop with this, we're actually working to further that CO2 improvement.
Amazing. And when you're talking about an industry that is so focused on sustainability and those buzzwords we talk about, eco-conscious cruising and all that, to see a boat builder that's actually doing it and making an impact is so important. And congratulations to Windelo for taking initiative and really making that happen.
Well, thank you for that. And, it's the beginning. We'll keep working on it. We hope the industry will follow suit as well. There's a lot more that can be done in terms of making this industry and sailing more sustainable.
And every little bit counts, right?
Absolutely.
Stefan, thank you for taking the time to show us the Windelo 50 yachting. Good luck at the rest of the boat show. And we're excited to see this sailing on the water here soon.
Thank you so much for being on board, Andrew. Day one, opening of the show, and we were glad to have you.
Good luck. Enjoy the show. And for Cruising World, I'm Andrew Parkinson.